Hello everybody and welcome to Uprising 144K. I'm Hydrogen Man. So, okay guys, today we're going to be talking about side effects of using hydrogen. Super important question that a lot of people have been asking. So here we go, finally making a video. All right guys, the first thing is that it actually really matters how you're making the hydrogen because that will actually in turn affect the side effects. Mostly because just about every single way out there at this time that I've seen makes hydrogen with some type of byproduct. Some of the equipment out there is so bad, they use toxic chemicals to make their hydrogen. It's not super pure, and typically the side effects that you get are from using hydrogen that's not pure. So that's one of the first things you have to be really cautious about. And again, we're talking about making pure hydrogen, not a mixture of it with oxygen or any other byproducts that may be there. For example, just like, hydrogen pills. This is, in my opinion, a big no-no. Metallic magnesium, they can build up in the body, not good for the kidneys, not good for the liver, not good for the brain. I personally highly do not recommend long-term usage of the pills. Short-term usage, I mean, I guess if you have healthy kidneys and stuff, but in my opinion, I just don't see the point of that. And then you do want to be really cautious with a lot of these little Chinese cheap bottles, because when it comes to hydrogen, the metal is super important. It's kind of like wearing a cheap set of earrings and how they start like changing color on your ears, cheap silver and whatnot. And we're talking about the water you're going to be consuming, especially when you're running electric current. It will leach the metal into your body. And now we're talking about metal toxicity. Really bad idea to use these kind. I haven't seen any good ones yet. Most of them are all made in China, just like this one says made in China. Yeah, so China and even Korean metal is just not the best. And it's interesting because I got friends who work with metals and they're always telling me that stuff from Korea and Chinese stuff is really bad. I mean, that's one of the reasons we don't even have Chinese cars in America, because their metal quality is so terrible. But we do have a lot of Japanese cars, and it's one of the reasons that I actually use this particular device, because when you make clean hydrogen that is super pure, the only side effects that I've ever noticed, and again, I'm not giving you any medical advice, guys, these are just my observations and from the things that I've read. The only side effects you might get, and this is might, doesn't mean you're totally gonna get them, is one, you may pee more for maybe the first week to 2 weeks. So you might urinate more because when the hydrogen bonds to oxidative stress, a form of oxygen, turns to water, and it can make you urinate more. So I've seen that happen. Very rarely have I seen people who are highly toxic on a lot of pharmaceutical medications, or people who have a really hard time detoxing. They may also get some symptoms, mostly like a light headache, and that might last like a day or even sometimes just 12 hours or even less than that sometimes. So some people have some detox symptoms, which is not to be confused when you use, items like these, these cheap type of items or whatnot. You have to be cautious because some of those will give you certain symptoms that are not detox symptoms, and you may confuse them for detox symptoms. So that's kind of something you got to watch out for. Other side effects from hydrogen. Well, I mean, it's a positive side effect, but it appears to have an anti-aging effect on your blood. So obviously overall on your body. So I think that would be a, positive one. Obviously it can give you energy, and those in my opinion are all positive effects, but people are asking about negative side effects. Here's another one. I'm not sure if it would be deemed negative or not, but it's a very common side effect. Anybody taking medications, if it's for like high blood pressure, if it's for, let's say, for diabetes, for your glucose, for your sugar, blood sugar levels and things of this nature, when you're taking different medications, a lot of times one of the side effects is that this works so good, the hydrogen works so good when used properly. This is what you're really going to notice. If you're using the proper equipment and the proper protocol, those things are really important. When you do that, your blood pressure might start normalizing. So if you're taking medication for blood pressure, your blood pressure may end up going too low because of the medication supposed to help bring it down to healthy levels. But if the hydrogen is helping bring it down to healthy levels, or if the hydrogen is helping with making the medication even more effective, then what you're going to notice is your blood pressure drop too low, which eventually means that hopefully you can get off the pills. But that's one of these side effects you have to watch out for. Same thing goes for your blood glucose levels, because you might drop your blood glucose too far. So you got to be really careful that whatever medication you're taking, maybe for blood pressure or whatnot, you got to watch your levels and make sure that while you're using hydrogen, you monitor those levels. So that way, if you have to back off your medication, remember, consult your doctor about such things. But if you have to do something like that, then that would be important, to note while, again, using hydrogen. So those are mostly the side effects. The biggest thing I can say is the hydrogen is like super, super pure when made correctly. I think the biggest mistake is when you make it incorrectly, or if you change the pH, which is why Kangen machines are no good, or any water ionizer that is directly ionizing the water that changes pH is no good, or when you mix the two gases like hydrogen and oxygen and whatnot. These type of things, when you make them in that type of way, then you're kind of, if there's basically some type of byproduct and it's not pure, that's where the caution really needs to be. If hydrogen is made pure, it's actually super, super safe. At least it appears to be super, super safe. And I haven't heard of really any negative side effects from the actual use of hydrogen other than what I've just mentioned to you guys. So again, equipment's really important, guys. And obviously this one's made in Japan. I know that the metal technology in this is super, super high quality. In fact, they thought it was impossible to make such metal. It was originally deemed impossible. The company apparently that makes this metal is a company that makes equipment for NASA that goes to outer space. So that's kind of why it's expensive, kind of like expensive jewelry. You really kind of get what you pay for. And when it comes to hydrogen, you want to really use proper metal technology. I can't emphasize it enough. And I personally, if I can't use hydrogen properly, then I won't even do it, because I have used other equipment that's cheaper or just that's no good. It wasn't necessarily cheaper, it just wasn't a very good machine, and I won't name names, but it actually made me sick. And it was using a toxic chemical to make it wasn't even making pure hydrogen, but the point is that it just wasn't really working very well for me. And then I became kind of surprised, like, why am I even doing this? And I went back to using this device, which is the one that I've so far loved the most. It is the #1 machine in Japan, and they're really finicky about doing things safely and cleanly, and it appears to be safe for everybody, which you can't say really about most hydrogen machines. I mean, even the pills, like if you read the fine print on the pills, it literally says right here, do not use it if you're pregnant, if you're nursing, you don't want to use it for children, things of that nature. And that's true. You don't want to give those type of pills or even this type of water, in my opinion, to a pregnant woman or a nursing mother or someone elderly who's sick. But this type of hydrogen water, it appears you totally can. In Japan, they're like, yeah, you can totally use this for a pregnant woman, for children. It's actually good for them for things like preeclampsia and things of that nature. So hopefully this answers everybody's questions about side effects from the hydrogen. If I learn anything else, I'll be making some more videos. But that's about it, guys. Don't forget to support the channel by giving it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notifications of when I'm going to release new videos. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on the next one.